more from San Francisco Shock in the near future. But let's move on to our next match. It is the Vegas Eternal versus New York Excelsior. What do we want to talk about this one, Jake?
I mean, I have to say that it's one of the winnable games for the Vegas Eternal. However, I still think it's going to be very tough. I think New York Excelsior, honestly, a lot of people have said, in the community, there's a power ranking, there's a tier break before the Vegas Eternal at the bottom of the West, and I think that's fair to say. I think, the real question for this team is, can they get a win?
Yeah.
So the roster for New York Excelsior, pretty much as we'd expect. I think this has been their strongest look so far. Able to flex, they can play rush, they can play more of these classic dive styles, whatever they need. But I think even though New York not the strongest team in the league, could be something that the Vegas could contend with, I honestly still think this is going to be a 3-0 for New York.
So, yeah, I mean, and also I know Custa, I think during the pro-am said that the quoted phrase, "Talent is there for New York Excelsior."
Oh, okay. Well, let's not throw that around. Okay.
And everybody, yes, we got to cast as Jaws and Custa for this match.
Yeah. Obviously, in the New York Excelsior, when you look at just name value, they have a couple of great players who have been in the league in the past. We have Fitz, who was story player on the Seoul Dynasty, incredibly flexible player. New York has been playing around these guys, and they've actually looked a lot better than we were expecting them to heading into this season. If I'm the New York Excelsior, this is another case of I want to come in and I want to take down the Vegas Eternal. That tier break does exist for the Vegas Eternal. As much as Mouthful is back, I don't think that will be a difference.
Luke Camino's not on Hanzo!
Oh, no!
I mean, honestly, he kind of popped off. Maybe they swap him in and out every now and then. Yeah. But it does seem to be the case in this match that we expect New York Excelsior to win, but then we expected Shock to win that last
True.
match. So.
All right, I mean, it sort of seems like everyone's on the same boat for this one. So let's see our predictions, actually. I'll be surprised if anyone went Eternal.
Yeah, they just haven't shown us anything to give us hope just yet. Where New York, I think there have been signs of life. I think maybe, who knows, maybe what happened yesterday, maybe that was an invigoration for the Vegas Eternal, thinking, you know what, we just did some crazy stuff and shook it up due to some unforeseen issues. Maybe we do have what it takes, we have the roster together, let's give it an honest go. So maybe this is the moment for them to grab some momentum. But I think for New York as well, this is a very accessible win for them. They have to come in strong.
All right, well, we'll see who gets the dub for this match. Justin Costa, take it away.
Thank you very much. Danny and Jake on the desk. Excelsior and the Paris Eternal. Yeah, like you said, obviously Marvel's back in, so we're not going to see Luke Camino on the DPS, and we're not going to see Avala on support. But, I mean, Excelsior, let's talk about them real quick. Of course, we saw Eternal yesterday, but they do have some very historic players. Fitz is kind of a legend when he played for Seoul Dynasty. Even Psycho's been showing up. I think their DPS line really been coming alive over the last couple of weeks. They've only got one win. Yes, but is that strength of schedule, Scott?
Well, also remember they're coming off of a very close match with the Toronto Defiant. They pushed them the distance. And obviously at this point we have to look into, Toronto Defiant if they are as strong of a team as we were predicting them to be. But nevertheless, that's a good performance here by the New York Excelsior. While with the Vegas Eternal, they're fighting for their first map win. We're not even talking about match.
Can they get it?
They can. Hey, honestly, yesterday they looked very comfortable playing that Baptiste, playing that Kiriko style where it relied more on individual performance rather than the team synergy. In that rush style, they were heavily outmatched by the London Spitfire. So if you're the New York Excelsior heading into this match, you have to have watched yesterday's one and be like, that's where we want to lean into. Go for the pressure points.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got a lot of tape to view, that is for sure. That is for sure. But it was a different style because the different players were in the team. Let's have a look though. What Excelsior wanna do? Do we expect a lot of strangeness coming out from Vegas Eternal? Because, like you said, you expect Excelsior and everybody kind of expects on the desk too to take them 3-0. Do Eternal try and left swing out here or left hook people just out of nowhere? What do we expect from them coming out the gate? Because I mean, Dub's hovering 76. I'm not sure that's the best pick in the world for this map, but anything can happen at this point with Eternal, I feel.
Well, here's the thing. When you're throwing something out of left field, you need to make sure it still makes sense. You can't go too far off the goop in some ways. So
is this off the goop?
They aren't off the goop yet. The Soldier is an interesting look and something that we haven't seen from too many teams, but if Dub's more comfortable in it and this enables them to play their style, I have no problems with this at all. Creative hits an incredibly good biotic grenade and then takes down Luke Mino himself. Great start here for the New York Excelsior.
Yeah, Crave's another talent that did fairly well last year. Excelsior kind of like a hodgepodge team, especially during the off-season. Yeah. Very strange. Everybody was kind of waiting, where is this team going? Like, is it going one way or the other? And they ended up with this kind of mix and match, like pick and mix style roster. But it's honestly been working out. Like you said, they've been looking a little bit better throughout the weeks. Maybe it's going to take them a little while to find their kind of groove. Doug needs help, though. That was just, I mean...
held onto his heel for way too long, was just overconfident against the Psycho Tracer, who had the high ground. But I want to follow off of what you were talking about with the New York Excelsior, Jack, because one of the reasons that we had low expectations for Excelsior heading into this season is they announced their roster so late coming close to the season. We didn't even know who their head coach was heading into the season as well. So the expectation was low, but as Danny said, the talent is there when you look at the name value as Luke Mino goes down once again to what feels like almost another free pick for the New York Excelsior. But when you look at these individual players, Leb had experience with the Houston Outlaws last year, a very strong team. Creative obviously has been around the league. Fitz on the Seoul Dynasty. Kellen, as much as he didn't have that performance for the New York Excelsior last year, he was hyped up heading into this league. They have talented players. So now the question is, how high is the ceiling for this roster?
How high is it? And is this going to be the ceiling breaker, though? Are they really going to have a big sledgehammer to break that ceiling in this series? That's the big question, too, right? I mean, ideally, you want to see them face off against Toronto Defiant again, maybe, or like Florida Mayhem. Those kind of teams. Malta West Post, though, it's been a bit of a slow start.
See if we can get a team fight here.
Yeah, it's just been picks. Well, we're trying to have a look at Psycho for just a brief moment at least. Kellen's in trouble, but so is Marvel. Forced the recall. Fairly low HP, has to wait for that to get back to 100, as Psycho also is on himself Pulse Bomb.
That's only 60% to a visor. He hasn't done anything this round.
Oh, here's the Pulse. Oh, and he's going to be a little bit further. Oh, maybe not. Lucamino with the clutch left to save it. Nano on to Kellen. That's one sleeping Vulcan, and then now Annihilation coming up from Kellen too. Not holding his arms up until just a brief second ago. More than happy to just try and knock down Vulcan. It's just the stare off as the beats eventually come out. There we go. The fight is still ongoing. Fitz holding on to his rifle for just a moment. He can rip it whenever he chooses, but Kellen's the first to fall on Excelsior's side, but Creative picking up yet another frag. Can he find anything, any purchase here? I mean, maybe. He was on the sidelines and Vulcan was just trying to get back to the rest of his team. That was a completely isolated Ana, and now Fitz popping the overclock is going to force Eternal's hand. Rack Attack tries to peek to heal the rest of his team, but ends up getting sniped out of the air. Fitz pretty low, needs some heals. A nice bardic grenade from Creative as City Center stall. Oh, it's going to be a long one.
Especially when you have Ramatra's Kellen back on the Doomfist just to get back in time.
The Visor. Dub's dead. Unlucky Vice not finding all too much as Creative survives a pulse bomb. Marvel finishes him up, but that'll be round over. 100-0.
The Creative, the MVP of that round, just finding pick after pick, not only in the before fights, but also in the middle of them. He's just finding targets, and Vegas Eternal, not really anything to show for the first round of Oasis.
That's what you like with your Ana finding these picks like this. This was the pick to start off with. Nice, Nate. That directed him too.
Yeah.
And that's why, everybody, you shouldn't jump. Shouldn't spam jump.
But well, it's fun to jump, Jack. It's fun.
Dude, it's taking a nade, taking damage. Stop jumping. It's a bad habit I find myself into as well, especially when you're against a good Widowmaker. The jump arc is so telegraphed. It's like, eh.
Especially when you're Ana as well. It's fun to jump, quick scope, and then land, right? Yeah. And then you can keep your momentum going.
It's so easy to track you through the air.
I know. But it's just so fun, Jack, as we're going to see a mirror composition heading over here into Gardens. They're actually both fighting for the high ground.
Malthus out to burn that block super early. Oh, nice little boot from Leb. You see, actually forced Malthus directly into the line of fire. The rest of his team still couldn't get healed. With your mate dead, that's already about it. The space control at an all-time low. Points unlocks, and it will be Excelsior's, unless Volk can get the retouch, but without the Lucia, well, without the May, sorry, looking unlikely.
Yeah, Malthus really fighting for that one, and the follow-up wasn't there for the rest of the Vegas Eternal. So, another early fight loss here for the Vegas Eternal. Fortunately, they didn't lose too many players. They lost Malthus and then did disengage, so the ult charge shouldn't be too far out of their favor. But Dove unable to find anything with that rail, and both balls going down.
A little bit wide, Kellen low, crosses his arms, and just stands in the way of all of that damage. Malthus goes down yet again. Second time he's been picked off. Nice wall. Might as well get the exit kills here, or a free ult charge for you on the board. Bit of extra ult charge for the Eternal backline, however. Vulcan and Dove find Psycho and Creative, but should be a fairly easy cleanup, especially with Fitz alive and Malthus. Oh, close. God, okay, he's good. He has the block, but Vulcan, unfortunately, no back.
Kellen with that annihilation, just too much health, too much damage for the Vegas Eternal to withstand. They did find some solid picks, but alas, they weren't able to follow through. They are coming up to 5 ultimates now, so it should be somewhat of an even fight. With this Mei, I'm surprised they're going through this open spot. It's going to be very difficult to dislodge the backline of the New York Excelsior from the high ground, and you're sort of walking into the firing line.
Finch just sits here and does this. There's the overclock. Vulcan had to pop that Nemesis Swarm back all the way up, so they're going to have to wait for another return on the cooldown, although they do open up with a window. Okay, now Excelsior have to retreat to height, but I think Finch is more than okay sitting up here. He's got a fully charged railgun, and he's sitting behind that window. So now Excelsior will stall this point out for a little bit longer. Decent window placement too. You can kind of get both sides. Oh, full force yet again. Third fight in a row where he's fallen first. And now, Eternal, they press every Q. And now they just need to find some kills. Dove saved by a lamp. He's just sitting in the front line all alone. Can't find anything with his own overclock. As now Psycho falls. Both Meis out of the picture for the time being as Kellen gets focused down by Eternal. But even he is just standing tall right now on this point. Eternal finds some capture percentages. Dove cleans out the backline. And there we go. Eternal on the board.
Nice play by Vegas Eternal. Just had to utilize their ultimates to win through that man disadvantage. But as you called it out, Jack, Mouthful needs to find a way to stay alive at the beginning of these fights. As the Mei, you are the one who's trying to step up, drop the walls, enable your Ramatra to go aggressive, but you can't be going down. You have the Ice Block, you have tools, and if you don't have those tools, you need your supports to keep you alive. That needs to be a point that the Vegas Eternal need to clean up, otherwise they're just going to keep falling down.
All right, Marvel. There's the Blizzard. There's the wall. Can Kellen escape? Nice Ice Block to try and block his movement. Nice stuff. Kellen does get set by Lamp, though, and the focus fire is good from the Eternal. There you go. This is what you want to see. Creative is not dead. That strafe is too powerful. Too powerful. Oh,
no, Mouthful.
Oh, my Mouthful. Oh, the strafe was too good. We've all been there. We've all been there.
That's an opening, Jack.
Though. It is an opening, and Fitz nearing that railgun too. That overclock coming up rather soon, and it'll one-shot, body shot if they're not careful. That lamp is actually kind of clutch from Lucamino there, so no one goes down instantly from Fitz. Here's the beat. There's the overclock. Match with a beat on Rack Attack's side, but Vulcan's already dead, and now Fitz can just bring it to pound down. Rack Attack on the point, trying to stall out, but it is 99%. Look at that Lucio strafe. Look at him go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. He's moving. And he's dead.
He's dead, Jack.
He's slowed down by Psycho's left click, and no support can stand in Vince's way. He actually gets Lamp to try and take him out, and there's Creative with the kill. Excelsior with one map up.
Just like yesterday, the Vegas Eternal playing these rush compositions, just not able to hold a candle to the coordination of some of these stronger teams. Honestly, another day at the office here for the New York Excelsior, playing what they need to do, individual players, stepping up where they need to, but Vegas Eternal woes continue.
Yes, they do. Man, I mean, Scott, they did get some percent on first, on that second point there. All good. I want to see more Soldier from Dove. I think if you
it didn't go well.
It didn't go well, but if you feel more confident on that hero and you feel more confident on the picks that you're playing, like, it's going to be a little bit better than like forcing something that you got its fits in on the Sojourn, right? The mirror. So I don't know. I don't really have questions or answers for you right now, Scott.
I don't have answers for you either. It feels like you're asking me questions here and trying to
Scott,
validate this Soldier. I don't have a lot for you, especially when we saw him go down multiple times. He just saw spam. He doesn't have that slide like a Sojourn. Any way to keep himself alive. The healing pack just isn't enough.
All right.
Maybe there will be better looks on Blizzard World. You'll have to find out. Stick around, and we'll see you after this break.
Overwatch is a really beautiful game when you have a stop action stock footage like that with everybody jumping up and like Lucio laying down the beat. And you know what's even more beautiful than that? Fitzio. Yeah, Fitz is going on the support role as Shockwave comes in on DPS.
What?
So we might see some Fitzio or some Fitz-Eater? Brigitte Fitz...
Fitzico? Maybe he plays Kiriko.
Fitzico? Fitzio? Fitz-Geeta?
I'm just going to let you go. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah, I'm just... blood's spitting right now. Blood's spitting right now.
We're going over Blizzard World, and this is a different look than we've ever seen from the New York Excelsior.
This is crazy, yeah.
Putting Fitz onto the support. Obviously, the supports have been struggling bits and pieces. They've been going back and forth of who's going to play the Brig. But with Fitz coming in, I'm just upset that Fitz isn't playing DPS. Like, why isn't Fitz playing DPS? I think he's their best DPS player as well. So
they're just like, well, you know, he's good at everything. So this time we'll play him on support. I am really curious. Yeah, if they do end up winning, I would like to ask them, you know, in an interview about Fitz being on the support role. I mean, Shockwave's good in his own right as well, to be fair. Psycho's been performing pretty well. Shockwave came in pretty hyped into the league a couple of years ago. The guy's been here, there, and everywhere, it feels like.
Yeah.
But it is curious. It is curious. I wonder if they're going to play double flex here. I would imagine so over Lucio. Doesn't really make a lot of sense if you're subbing Lep out.
I have to assume that this is the Baptiste Kiriko style that we've seen a lot of teams starting to play recently, where you can play that Kiriko who plays aggressively and enables your dive that little bit better, and then you can switch that back to your support if they really need it. But then you ask the question, why is Fitz the player that needs to step into this role? They have 4 support players, Jack, and they've added a 5th one now that Fitz is coming to play support.
I haven't got answers. Oh, by the way, we are in a brief pause. We will be getting back in. Oh, there you go. Prod, just thank you for that. We're going back in. Hey, all good. We're going to jump back in to the game right now, as you can see. Imagine if we did the whole game like this. Like, it was just
us.
We could us.
They would give us we could have the pen, and then we could just telestrate.
Dude, there is some crazy
happening.
telestration stuff that's going to come down in the next couple of weeks. I'm just saying.
For obvious reasons,
have been working hard.
They don't trust us with that.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, there's no trusting what could happen when those types of things happen. But the answer is going to come through, at least from what we're looking at right now. Fitz is going to play the Ana.
Okay.
Or at least he's going to play the more conventional flex support style, while Creative is the one going over and playing the Kiriko.
All right. You know what? He can aim, so all good. Look.
Can he heal, though? That's the question.
Can he? Yes, that's how Ana works.
Well, if he plays Lifeweaver.
Actually, that's how Ana works.
Oh, okay, thank you, Jack.
Ain't no way. He's just going for a little... No, okay, not even a little lift. He's going on the... Okay, so it is Brig.
Okay.
So Fitz, Brig, Creative, Ana, and then Shockwave on the Sombra. Looks like Kellen's going back to Spawn briefly. Winston? Yes. All right, Kellen Winston. So this is the comp we're running out with. So Fitz-Eater.
Yeah, so it is the Fitz Brig, and that means that they want to feel more confident in this role. The backline has been where they've been exposed the most when they have been losing some of these series, so maybe just Fitz confident in being able to play this style. Obviously, Shockwave and Psycho are both great players in their own rights, so they have that depth of roster to be able to do this. On the other side, the Vegas Eternal are going to play the Kiriko themselves.
No Storm Arrow for Marvel, nothing to really punish the Winston. It's much easier to punish Winston when you Storm Arrow and he jumps on you. Break bubble or just like shoot a lot of arrows in his head. Very crazy nade there from Creative getting on the double box. Fitz does need a little bit of help. Creative receives a 1 pack from Fitz to top him up to full HP. With Marvel dead, a whole lot of damage lost. You've only got the Tracer to try and pick someone off, but none of that consistent damage that you really need. Nice little anti, but look at that. I mean, Dove's a little bit too scared to actually double dash into Fitz to try and take him out. Very early nano boost onto Vulcan, though. Takes down Shockwave with ease. However, he's going to get booped away. There's already 2 ticks on the board for Excelsior here, Scott.
Yeah, that early pick onto Mouthful gave them the control, but Vegas Eternal did a great job of peeling back, waiting for their ultimates, then re-engaging. But New York Excelsior are about to do the exact same thing. Creative's coming up on his own nano. Kellen needs to stay alive.
Stay alive. Comes out. He's got anti to Mouthful. Comes back from Spawn. A little bit of revenge on the Winston. Nice stuff. All right. That kind of sucks. At the end of the day, you need your monkey to survive. You get the nano, like you said, they jump in. And that makes Eternal have a good shot at actually defending here. They got Rush coming up.
I don't like Kellen going in while Creative's at 90% nano charge. If he just waited another 5 seconds, the nano boost would have been out. Kellen would have gotten that, and he would have been able to live throughout that dive. Fortunately for them, they do have the EMP and the Nano still. But Shockwave unable to get in right now, just keeps getting broken out of this stealth as Dub's just harassing him from the high ground.
In peeps Shockwave. He's looking for it. Nano boost onto Kellen. Nice little hack there onto Vulcan. Stops him from matrixing.
No
However, he got instantly woken up. No EMP, yeah. But like Malfoy's already dead, now you're in a 4v5. Rally coming out as well as that pulse bomb from Dove, but it actually hits the shield of Fitz, so does very little to no damage. And Lucamino also dead. Vulcan forced to use that self-destruct on the point to try and remake, but Fitz just blocks most of it with his shield, and you saw Psycho there just hiding behind it. Yes, Brick Shield can still block self-destruct. Thank God for that. 4 minutes to go now, as Excelsior do manage to cap first.
And at the end of the day, Shockwave does a great job of holding onto that EMP. I thought it was worth to pop it there to just guarantee that dive would be successful, but
very confident.
Yeah, presence of mind to be able to hold on to that one. But I'm going to call it out again because it has been a consistent theme throughout this series. Mouthful needs to stay alive. I don't know what he needs to change, but right now he is the target for the New York Excelsior, and if he keeps falling, Vegas Eternal are playing at a disadvantage.
Talk moment, maybe. Talk moment. Shockwave with the EMP still holding on. Nice damage onto Vulcan. Actually gets hacked and anti-naded. But Excelsior unable to execute on the kill.
Shock.
Oh my God, that could have been a crazy kill.
I would have been very upset if I died to that by Shockwave, but they've got a lot of positioning already. The fear of the EMP almost creating a presence in its own right. EMP is down.
Decent, however, look at how late Kellen was to actually jump on the EMP targets. Those hacks don't last too long anymore, worth keeping in mind. Primal Rage Pop for Kellen, but he's just donating a lot of that health to the ult bank of the Vegas Eternal as he jumps up into the high ground, takes damage, and then just falls back down to earth. Dragon Strike on the point from Malfoy to try and force anything from Excelsior. They actually nano Dove instead of the tank this time around. He takes down Fitz, even making it a double with the help of Vulcan, killing Creative. Backline down for Excelsior, no heals for New York, so they're forced to either play on this high ground, try and contest for as long as possible, or go for a reset. I think they're going for the latter here.
Yeah, it has to be a reset. When you just don't have heals, there's no point in even taking that fight. You don't have the sustainability to live throughout it. That was a lot of ultimates from the Excelsior to little avail. So Eternal finding their footing just a little bit, but the nano boost going on to Kellen once again. That's how they broke open this first point. He needs to do that again.
All right, what you got for a Psycho? Pulse Bomb versus Pulse Bomb. Dub has got 1-2. Psycho hunting, searching, seeing... Oh, seeing nice one shot. Turned his back to Malfoy as he takes an arrow, just pins him to the floor. Lucamino has died though, so very bad trade here for the Eternal as you losing one of your healers. Kellen jumps over that pulse bomb to the safety, warm, safe embrace of Creative. Does heal him back up with a nade, and with Shockwave killing Dove, it's a slow bleed out here for the Eternal.
Rack Attack does have this rally whenever they need it, but gets bashed because Fitz goes first.
Yeah, Fitz popping the rally, just jumps into him, self-destruct onto the top of the point. Fitz just blocks it all with his giant IMAX shield. Dove has actually switched over to the Widowmaker. A nice little sleep onto Kellen. Can they get the insta-kill? Not quite. And that will be point 2 being unlocked.
Yeah, that was such a big play by Fitz. Maybe showing why he is in here over to the support role to play this character. Having a lot of impact so far. He's staying alive and doing quite a good job. And that bash was just such high value, recognizing who the threat on the Eternal was. So now we go into third point. There's only 2 minutes remaining, though, Jack.
I really like this setup here. Oh, okay. So, Shockwave has revealed himself, but Psycho is kind of chilling around the bookcase area, waiting for Shockwave to get a hack, diving in. See that from the best Sombra teams, talking like that to Rain. Lip goes for a hack, and Stalker's like instantly on top of him. Malfoy's not, you know, he's showing up right now. He's not dying first, he's getting the first picks a lot of that time. And that's what you need from the Hanzo. Just getting that initial pick is great. Saving the Storm Arrow for when the monkey jumps in, and it'll be a big reset here for New York. However, they do have EMP.
As you can see, Malfoy spy checking as the Hanzo looking to get another straight arrow onto Shockwave. As Shockwave really holding onto these EMPs quite close to his chest. Trying to find a position to get in. Oh, early rally by Rack Attack. I think you can almost disengage from this if you're the Excelsior.
Those Dragon Strike from Malfoy actually cut Creative off and killed him. There will be Kellen Prop and Primal, but I don't think there's any use in fighting right now. As soon as that Primal wears off, you're a sitting duck, or a sitting gorilla, I suppose. With Creative's Nano Boost, you want to wait for him to get up. With 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining, very unlikely now that New York will actually cap with time remaining, if at all. I don't think there's any chance, in fact. Too many staggers will come out.
felt like an unnecessary push there by the Excelsior. Running upstream almost. EMP does come out by Shockwave, but once again, no one's following up, and it was only on one person.
Yeah, only one man EMP, and that was onto Lucamino, of all people, who's on the high ground. You do be chilling. There's no real advance.
Nade.
A fantastic nade from Lucamino. Was that a 5-man anti?
Nah, it's just a
3-man? Oh, wait, Shock. The people that didn't get anti went down. Shockwave and Psycho dead. Lucamino is kind of immortal up there.
Yeah.
They need to stop that. They need to contest him on the high ground.
The Shockwave Kellen synergy just feels a little off right now. Every time the EMPs are coming out, Kellen's just that beat too late. So by the time the EMP is worn off, they're already healthy and there's no follow through. But 20
Someone get
seconds remaining.
Lucamino off the high ground. He got down. All good. Nano Brig versus Nano Winston. Vulcan does get anti, but Rack Attack do be swinging. Might be able to earn himself a rally if he's kind of fancy with it, but I mean, he ends up backing all the way up. There's a later rally coming out from Fitz here as Vulcan gets a nice hit on the pole spot, but that anti-nade is too good from Creative. In the front line, anti's 2 as Vulcan goes low. Here's Rack Attack with the rally. This is their last attempt to try and defend that third point. Fitz dead. One healer remaining for Excelsior is now Psycho trying to put in the work, but this rally, this overhealth being generated from Rack Attack is just too much for him to bear. There will be a Dragon Strike on the point to push Kellen away, who's popped the Primal, but that'll be about that. No damage, but a kill onto Lucamino might just be what they need.
It's absolutely huge. Lucamino's the primary healing.
EMP coming in from Shockwave 2 as they force Eternal all the way back smart. They back up knowing they've got time to give.
Yeah, you need to back up. You don't have that healing. Lucamino's actually going to switch over to the Baptiste, but Shockwave with this EMP.
He's waiting. Rack Attack, EMP, perfect lap from Lucamino to keep him alive in the fight. And now you need the follow-up. Vulcan doesn't even get hacked. It looked like Shockwave got interrupted mid-hack, and it didn't really matter anyway, to be fair, because Vulcan still went down. Nice post bomb from Dove. This will be the hold. There's the cleanup that Eternal needed. 2 points and 104 meters on the board. Excelsior unable to cap that third point. These Shockwave EMPs, they might be landing on good targets, Scott, but the follow-up, it's not there.
And that's really what has differentiated the good teams from the best teams. You watch Atlanta and you watch Lip Pop and EMP, they're right there.
Dude doesn't even need the EMP. He pops a hack. Boom.
The Trace is there. The Winston's there. The follow-up is there. It isn't there for the New York Excelsior. Right now, Shockwave is finding value on the Sombra, but Kellen and Psycho just aren't on the same wavelength. They're not following through. While on the other hand, the Vegas Eternal following up with exactly what happened yesterday. When they have to play these Brawl Rush styles, they fall short. They are unable to keep up. But when they can play this sort of dive and they can sort of go toe-to-toe and it comes down to more individual play, that's really where they start to shine. They are great players. Maybe the coordination is the fundamental problem.
I mean, it's perfect for them, right? Just get them on roles they can carry with individually. More like a ranked comp, right?
Yeah.
You want to have the most impact possible in a ranked game yourself to try and help the team succeed. And obviously, in a ranked game, there's a lot less coordination going on. But it's working out for the Vegas Eternal in a way, because Dove's adding some nice pulses. He's getting, he's kind of checking the back line. Maltha also at the very end, not so much on the first and second point, but was getting some good pickoffs, like initially. Yeah. Nice headshots from the Hanzo, and that's maybe their secret sauce. We'll see what they want to do on the outset.
I will say, though, I've had heated discussions with Jake about this D.Va on attack and defense. You've been in the green room, Jack. You can agree.
It gets dicey at that.
The defense D.Va I like, especially when you're playing like a hit scan with Hanzo of Mouthful. But on offense, you need to be an aggressor at some point. So when you're on offense, if you're playing that D.Va, you're playing the Hanzo, you're really playing at the whim of somebody finding a pick, because you can't expect Dove to be the person to open up these fights.
Oh,
for that reason.
Definitely can't open the fight up now, yeah. With his brains all over the floor. Man, it is very satisfying as Kiriko. Getting that headshot on the Traces, my word. Or even the headshot melee. Yeah, that's a classic.
Traces might disagree with us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's a lot of things in Overwatch I think everybody can kind of agree that just boost that serotonin, and headshot melee onto Traces does feel very good as a support player.
Yeah, and you can see Creative playing this Kiriko. This is the style you need to play. You want to play on this off angle, play aggressive with your Tracer here. Just make yourself a threat. They are giving a lot more room than I was expecting them to give.
Recalled. Now Psycho's hot on his trail. He's retreated back to the safety of his supports. All good. Very slow opening fight here for Eternal, waiting for a pick.
And that's sort of what I was talking about, right? If you're Vegas Eternal, how do you force the issue? Shockwave hits an important shot onto Luke Mino, which should slow everything down.
Nice shots.
Alpha tries to reply, just unable to do so, and that will be a reset. And that's a minute and a half off the clock, Jack, and we haven't even really had a fight yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Hanzo gameplay, right? I'm gonna get a pick. I'm gonna get a pick. I need to get a pick. And in fact, Eternal have fed up waiting for that pick. They're actually switching over to the Sombra instead. Hack, dive. Now that's the name of the game.
But that's the crux of this composition, right, Jack? Who's diving with the hack? You can't really dive effectively with the D.Va. That's so much distance to go. If you don't find that kill, then you're kind of in it and you're stuck. And then Dove has to be that play with the Tracer. The D.Va with the Sombra Tracer, I'm just not in love with it.
He's not in love with it. He's not in love with it. Well, I do be waiting. Big wraparound here from Eternal. Taking a long time, though. Taking a long, long time. Just trying to find one person, maybe try and catch them out with a hack. Nice rotations from Excelsior, though. They've almost got 5 ultimates on board. I mean, Malthus the furthest on the way right now. There's the Nano to start us off. Nano with a shockwave, though. He even gets hacked. These arrows are going to pack a mean punch if he can land. Vulcan even antied in the corner. Rally popped from Eternal. Here come the ultimates. Everybody's pressing Q. Nicely from Vulcan again. Second post-bomb meeting of Psychos this match already. Self-destruct on the point as Shockwaves takes down Rack Attack in the front line. Now Lucamino in trouble. Both supports dead. Vulcan is going to get staggered here and then some if he's not careful. Shockwave coming up large.
You saw what I saw for a second there, right? I saw a Life Weaver pop up under Rack Attack for just a moment. I got a little stressed out. I was thinking that Vegas Eternal, like, time to pull out our special move, Life Weaver. Thought better of it and went over to the brig. But Malthus does have the EMP, and this is going to need to be the important piece for them. Final fight territory under 30 seconds.
Here we go. Boom! EMP hits 2. Shockwave, the main target. Perfectly followed up with. Vulcan takes the kill. Self-destruct available, so he can still point for almost ever. I mean, you have no support ultimates, which is the problem here, and Fitz is going to be nearing that Nano rather soon. A tick has been acquired, but still Kellen juggling the point, building up that Nano. Fitz so close to it. 2 ticks.
80%.
Kellen needs to get on there. 88% and building now, Scott.
90%. Fitz it. Nano is the one thing you need to keep your eye on. New York Excelsior just needs to hold until then.
Can Vulcan eat another pulse bomb? There's the Nano onto Kellen. Where does he go with it? Or does he kind of stagger out the point? Oh no! The point to C9! Okay, that was... Oh my god. That was a little egregious. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. That was pretty bad. Nano Kellen, he dives the backline. I mean, Psycho setting up for a post bomb, right? And then they forgot to set 88% and they let go of the point.
It could have gone either way at that point. New York Excelsior with Kellen with that Nano boost was just diving into the backline, but no one was standing on the point. So Vegas Eternal get a lifeline there from a little bit of an egregious C9 from the Excelsior. Can they snowball through the rest of this point?
They've only got to ask the audience and phone a friend left. That's for certain. Alright, Shockwave's got the control of the tank on the high ground, which is really nice. Really hard for Eternal to make an easy and clean getaway across the map. This point's going to be very tough to take, especially if you're just kind of holding in. I'm assuming they're trying to rotate to high ground, set up Lucamino with a window, but again, they're taking a long time to do this, Scott. Self-destruct comes in. Is there going to be a follow-up here with Malthus? No,
just like that.
Just a vanilla self-destruct being lobbed.
Like it's 2016. You know, like people don't do that anymore because players are just too good. They're not going to get caught by a random D.Va bomb not in a team fight. Don't love it.
Don't love it. They have taken the high ground though, Scott. Well, Lucamino did with this window, and now they've rotated down. So no high ground control yet again. It's been kind of tough. Dove has recall. It's only got 1 blink, maybe 2. Malthus was there with a save though. Kind of distracts the enemy team for a little bit, but Dove eventually kind of cleaned up. He had very few blinks when he hit the recall, Scott, so wasn't able to quickly get away. And now we're approaching final fight once more. Riley coming out from Rack Attack and a Nano boost to save Kellen's life. No C9s here are going to be possible. The payload's far too far away as Rack Attack is the main source of damage from the Excelsior. They're trying to run it down, but the healing is just too good from Lucamino right now. They think better of it. They do end up backing up to the point, but they've made it final fight and they've got a rally out of Eternal.
Yeah, but it cost them both of their support ultimates for the New York Excelsior, and here comes Mouthful with another EMP, and you can see Vegas Eternal are poised.
Nice EMP! Creative already gone. Excelsior now down a person. Can Psycho come up with a nice stick? Dove definitely can. Nice double kill from Excelsior. Hang on a second. Scott. Pinch me. Am I dreaming? Self-destruct on the points. Kellen, is he going to get remake? He does. Now Psycho's back. The spawn points are just way too close for Excelsior. Eternal need a clean fight. But no. There it is. Second point unlocked. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. Eternal. I'm starting to believe.
Okay, Jack, they still have a long way to go, so let's just calm down a little bit. 104 meters, that's multiple team fights. We are going to see some switches from the New York Excelsior.
No.
Oh, okay, they're switching the other players. Okay, he stayed on it for so long that I got really nervous. I was like, there's no way Creative's about to come in and play the pocket mercy. But switching Ana and the Brig with Creative and Fitz, that's how they wanted to play with the Ana and the Kiriko in the past. Not many ultimates for either team. Vulcan does have the Diva Bomb, hopefully uses it better than last time.
Get a hack or something, right?
Yeah, if you're the New York Excelsior, you don't want to let this card continue to move to the point that if you lose one team fight, you lose the point.
Decent nade, stops Mouthful from doing anything for a brief moment. Creative is so free in this backline. That feels so good right now. Mouthful's trying to check in. Nice hack on the shotwave, but Vulcan tried to shift in, but couldn't get in the backline in time, so Fitz dies to that! What? Fitz dead, Shockwave dead too. Dub lands another key pulse on the Hanzo. Wait a second, 20 seconds to go. Eternal might take this map if New York aren't careful about how they play this. Kellen has to stay alive. He's in mech still. He does get hacked in spawn as the dragons come out. The rally is there for Rack Attack. They're going to have the overhealth. And Kellen does get nano, but he's just getting beaten, bullied backwards. 1.2 meters remain. And Psycho with the pulse bombs trying to line up something good. The EMP's decent. And Psycho now trying to go in. Vulcan eats another pulse. Eternal are going to do it. They're going to find their first map in 2023. Let's go, Vegas.
Hey, this is exactly like that meme where they're pouring champagne on themselves. They only want a map, but you got to start somewhere.
Grand Finals attempt here. The Grand Finals car's coming out. Vegas Eternal, they got a map.
And you can tell, they're happy, they're excited, but the match ain't over. And that was honestly just solid play by the Vegas Eternal. They ground out the New York Excelsior. Yeah, maybe they got gifted a C9 a little bit. Yeah, they got some things falling in their favor, but you take what you can get.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're on the board.
I'm like, oh my god, let's go. I mean, wow, I want to know how that bomb killed Fitz, that self-destruct.
I would assume that his shield got broken.
Yes.
Because it looked like he was standing there waiting for the bomb to come, which is, that is a rookie mistake for the Brig. When you're waiting for that Diva Bomb, you don't want to be holding that shield because any solid player at the top level is going to shoot that one. So Fitz, maybe a little bit of a mistake at the very end, and that cost them big time.
Absolute slobber knocker right now. This game is going off. The Reddit thread is going to be alight, bro. Oh my word. I mean, look, dive at the very end. Looked so clean. We're going to jump to a quick break. Do not go anywhere. We've got map number 3. Can Eternal take a new map? Junkertown?
Junkertown?
It's possible, Scott. Anything's possible at this point. We'll see you in a bit. Hello, hello, welcome back. Yes, you're seeing it correct. The first regular season win here for the Vegas Eternal. Honestly, Scott, describe that last map in one word beginning with A.
Awesome.
Ah, that's good. I like that. Okay, that was good.
I was trying to think of a better word. I landed on awesome, and then I tried to rack my brain through the dictionary, and I realized I'm not Mitch, so I went with awesome.
Awesome is a good word. No, that's fine. That can be used here. Awesome stuff.
Antagonistic. Let's go with that.
Antagonistic.
You know, this is the moment that the Vegas Eternal start their villain arc and start taking names. It all starts with one.
It all starts with a 1. 3-2 on Blizzard World. Vulcan did a very good job that last game. If you saw, he ate 3 post bombs. Excelsior, I mean, getting that post bomb stick is very important, especially when it's on the Hanzo main damage dealer or one of the backlines in Vulcan, making sure he's checking every single time Psycho tries something sneaky. We are going to Junkertown now. And what do we really expect here from the Eternal? Can they keep this snowball going?
And for all the perceptive people out there, you would have seen that we didn't have a look at the player names, which mean we didn't make any subs.
Fitzio.
Fitz support round 2.
Probably break again.
He honestly played fine. Last map, I don't think you can say that he was, in any reason, the problem. And honestly, I don't think New York Excelsior played bad by any means. It felt like Eternal really starting to string things together. See if they can do it again here on Junkertown. And this map is... It's been strange this season because historically we've just always played snipers. We've always played Sigma. But people are trying different things, playing faster around the Tracer Sombra. From what we got here, the Vegas Eternal are going to play a Ramatra defense, which I don't think we've seen any of this, but it is the traditional Kiriko Baptiste Ramatra style that allows you to play aggressively yet defensively at the same time.
Ooh, wow, Malthus playing with fire there. You know that's a Widow Spawn. Lucamino too.
Please stop peeking.
I know. I really want Shockwave to stay, but he's not gonna. He's gonna switch over to the Hanzo. Alright. So we got Winston versus Ramatra here, Scott.
This is going to be difficult for Kellen to really find value, I feel like. Other than when he has that nano boost, there's going to just be a lot of damage. And they're kind of relying once again on that Shockwave Hanzo to really open it up. Otherwise, they're just waiting for the ultimate and the nano boost to be able to sort of close that distance and keep Kellen alive.
Alright, good ground already for Excelsior. Getting to this corner is very important. Cracking this open will be very difficult with Vulcan. Just kind of manning the defenses. Put his little pillbox up there on the high ground.
The Eternal have got to be careful. They are all 5 players stacked up on these stairs right now, and they're sort of being herded by the Excelsior. I like what Dove is doing now, yeah.
Ooh,
recognizes
okay.
the Hanzos on an island alone. Dove and Mouthful combine together to take down Shockwave. Force the disengage. Can they get any more from this?
Yeah, yes, they can. Again. Wow, Mouthful. He is mad. He was dying first on Blizzard World. 3 fights in a row, and even on Control, he's really showing up. I mean, sometimes you just need that warm-up, you know? And warm-up he did. Dude's kind of on a heater right now with his Hanzo shots.
The tanks have sort of been beating each other up as the supports heal them up. Here come the ultimates.
Yeah, I was going to say Lucamino. He's like, Lucamino ain't taking my job, bro. Let me just let me show him up on the Hanzo real quick. Nice nano boost straight onto Mouthful. He's been the main source of damage recently for Eternal, but no, gets chased down. Here are the picks that you want to see. Nice juggle from Kellen in the air too. Rack attack had no shift, I would imagine. And there crumbles Eternal's defense on point A.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like with how far away everyone is, they're going to get another fight. And there was the Winston Primal, the nano boost, right on time for the New York Excelsior. And Eternal just didn't really feel like they were ready for that. Mouthful caught in no man's land in the open and just eventually gets caught out. Not too bad of a first point though, and they retained some of their ultimates, if not all of their ultimates, except for the pulse.
Yeah, the doors to Junkertown City have been opened, and now Mouthful has the high ground. So he didn't get any work done with the Dragon Strike again. I mean, he found creative a couple of times, which is always nice to pick off the Ana. Going to be tough to dive in once more. Vulcan's holding kind of this off angle right now, but Excelsior slowly trying to, again, like you said before, kind of choke out Eternal right now and trying to find these different angles. Oh, Mouthful did not stand a chance. I'm curious where the lamp was for from Lucamino. Both support ultimate spot from Eternal, including the Annihilation. So 3 ultimates used in this engagement. Vulcan is, yeah, okay, he just runs down creative. Again, imagine he didn't have the Swift Step available to him. you kind of take that, honestly, if you're Excelsior. Yeah, you have Nano coming up, they don't have support ults. Feels nice to go in for a dive, see if they can find another pick.
And I'm going to keep harping on it. Eternal need to force their agenda a little bit, stop allowing New York Excelsior to take so much space. Like, one of the reasons Mouthful is getting punished so much is because the Excelsior are able to take all the space they want and then set up a very clean dive. The Vegas Eternal take the least number of fights in the Overwatch League, and that's because they play so passive. At some point, you need to stop everyone from just walking all over you.
The Nano engaged. The Nano's not who you think it's on.
Oh, wow.
Double Dragon Strike kill from Mouthful. I said before I want to see something. There you go. Triple kill for Mouthful. Yeah, this guy's kind of going off. Vegas Eternal, they used one ultimate, and Excelsior also used an ult, but they used the Nano on Shockwave, not Kellen to dive in.
Yeah, and that is an interesting decision. I wonder if there was something there that we didn't see that
Maybe
could potentially have altered that. Mouthful has 5 of the team's 6 final blows. About a Mouthful deadlift right now.
Creative. Forced to use Suzu. Can't underestimate that Nemesis form damage. Another Annihilation has been built up by Vulcan. Good hold so far from Eternal.
It's really difficult to just dislodge the Eternal, especially when Vulcan can do this.
Oh no! Vulcan was taking a nap and still managed to drag Fitz into a nightmare. There's Creative and Kellen, though, making sure the backline are feeling their wrath. Primal Rage and Creative being on this high ground with the Kitsune Rush. Dove needs to stall, but no, Creative's going to hound him down.
And he gets 3 in that team fight, maybe justifying why they want to put Fitz in to play the Ana, while Creative enabled to play the Kiriko. And Eternal, it felt like they were in the driver's seat of that fight when Vulcan killed both backliners, or at least 2 of the backliners, the Hanzo and the Ana. And Mouthful with an early death to a random arrow here from Shockwave, and that's going to be the go button for the Excelsior.
Wow, this is an aggressive push here from Creative. Pushes straight in with that rush. It is managed by a window, so in fact, it will be the Excelsior disengaging, but they have control of the point, Scott. And with a minute to go, Psycho's got a pulse. Vulcan can't eat it this time around, trying to get some revenge, in fact. Yeah, Vulcan just jumped straight into it. That Vortex not slowing down Psycho one bit. A rush on the point, a last-ditch attempt from Eternal to try and make something work as Psycho just putting out an absolute boatload of damage. Tried to dash that mega health pack, but it wasn't there. It was actually Mouthful that hacked it away. 55 seconds to go, but Shockwave sitting pretty on the point. Manages to find the last trickling of members of the Eternal, and that will be point 2 unlocked.
Some important shots there by Shockwave at the end of that fight. If that fight dragged on a little bit longer, Vulcan came back. That could have been a hold by the Eternal. But the Excelsior managed to hold on. But once again, Excelsior only 2 minutes remaining in this third point. The Eternal are making them slow everything down. His Mouthful is actually over back on the Sombra. I'm not in love with that. Maybe to get back to the point really quickly. Now he's 65% EMP, doesn't want to switch. Could have been that cascading effect of wanting to retain ultimates.
There's a lot of spaces you can hide here too. So EMP is going to be hard to get like a giant one, but sometimes a one man is all you need. Sometimes just a one-person EMP.
Just a respectable one-person EMP.
Respectable one. I got my one. Where is yours? All right, Kellen with the Nano now, maybe. Or is Shockwave going to receive the Nano again? I'm curious Fitz's kind of decision-making here on why he's nanoing the Hanzo, but we'll have a look who he wants to put it on. I mean, Shockwave's kind of stealing. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Kellen nanoed, booped away, though, by the Brig, but the Brig is still on the high ground. Kellen's trying to throw some right clicks in. Another little boot will suffice, but the healing is just way too much. Lucamino with a very late lamp, and all the meanwhile, Dove was managing to trade in the front line. There will be spawns coming in for Excelsior in just a moment, but Vulcan still holding high ground, and them kind of delaying for Dove to find a pick is going to be good enough to make this final fight again.
But they're delaying, but also losing can't progress here, Jack. We're going into New York Excelsior. If they win one team fight, they're going to close out the map. Kellen does have to use the Primal Rage. Otherwise, he would have gone down, but now ultimates are starting to come up. But Mouthful with the EMP. Keep an eye on him. Is he going to take down Fitz?
He just beelined straight for Fitz. There's the dive. Mouthful and Dove with a perfect kill onto Fitz. 30 seconds to go for the Excelsior as Dove reclaimed control of the high ground, but Shockwave just jumps out to low and headshots Dove. As help just try from Vulcan to get the remake as Rack Attack takes a headshot from Shockwave, but that rally and Lucamino by his side heals him straight back up.
Yeah. And that's just solid play there by the Eternal. Did have to use a lot of ultimates, though. Kellen switching over to the Doomfist just to ensure they'll be able to touch and stay on the point.
Worked out last time.
Yeah, it worked out last time. Psycho and Shockwave, they have ultimates that are very difficult to get value from, but they need that value right now.
Nice act from Psycho, but better heals from the Excelsior. Here's the pulse. Vulcan looking for him, wants another one. Oh, he's chasing him out. Oh, and he gets the D-Vec. Free pulse bomb now for Psycho if he can find a target, that is. Vulcan dead, in fact. That Pilot Diva taken care of by Shockwave, who's still manning the battlements on the high ground. He spots the supports. Lucavino. Oh, jumps straight over it. Pole vaulted, in fact. Used fairly early on. And now Excelsior just steamrolling forward. Kellen with a nice nano boost. Fitz does die to the pulse, but I mean the damage has really already been done. A rare Reinhardt pickup here for this last point to try and stall out for the rest of Eternal to come back. But Kellen's nearing that Meteor Strike. Just Meteor Strike straight on top of Kellen's head. Just a 1% punch there to stop that shield from taking any more damage. And it will be Excelsior capping the map with 0 time in the bank.
Kellen Doomfist, it's the second time he's pulled it out in this series, and it works, right? You can see him just shooting the Reinhardt in the butt a little bit there, and just able to slowly drain down the Eternal, and they will finish, but with no time remaining. Vegas Eternal, they're giving the New York Excelsior a run for their money right now. Very close back and forth series. So maybe this Eternal is starting to find their footing, find some confidence. You know, after yesterday's match, as much as 2 of the maps weren't very close. That one map it's easily a morale booster, right? When you have nothing to lose, and now they've won one map, that weight can sort of get removed from your shoulders, and all of a sudden you can start having that little bit of confidence to be like, hey, maybe we can win this series. And then from there, if you can win this series, then who else can you beat?
Here's a crazy stat for you.
Okay.
That's an 100% increase on their map wins. That's crazy.
Well,
wait, no. Would it be 100%?
Wouldn't it be infinite? Because if they've never had a win, and then you go from 0 to 1, it would be an infinite number of increase.
An infinite. There you go.
They're infinitely better today.
That's facts.
Yeah,
that's straight facts. Actually, here's a replay. Little Shockwave replay, in fact. That's a good pulse actually from Dove, I will say. Oh my god. I mean, he's been kind of dominating on the Hanzo. It's been Malfoy's show for the last couple of games, in fact, but now it is all on Shockwave's Hanzo.
And, you know, we talked about it. Fitz going over to the support, that would be dangerous for some teams because they don't have the caliber of players to be able to fill back in on the DPS role. But Shockwave and Psycho, both very capable players and very deep hero pools as well. So gives them the freedom to do that as Vegas Eternal once again rolling out with the Ramatra, and New York Excelsior are going to match.
Oh, yeah. So very comfortable on the Ram on Junkertown by the looks of things. Now, Malthor versus Shockwave. This is the battle. This is the 1v1. We need to see who can find the first pick. Just a permanent amount of damage on the high ground. Just resetting over and over again, waiting for the Nemesis forms. Although with Shockwave with this nice little angle on them, maybe it won't be infinite damage. It will just be a one swift health bar removal. Well, oh my god. I mean, I think they both stuck each other there with the Sonics.
Yeah, they do just be shooting in the general direction, hoping for the best.
Yeah. Not quite Legolas just yet. Oh,
I think both teams are just trying to build up ultimates, trying to find some value. You know, obviously you have the anti-nades from Fitz that enables them to get.
That's a good pick.
Shockwave just stepping up a little bit too far with no protection from his team.
Tries to peek. Everybody shot at him there. There was only one person in the kill feed, Malthor, but a lot of people did a fair amount of damage on the shared affair. Nice window too. It's going to force Kellen all the way back. This is good card progress. Excelsior needs touch. Kellen's been nanoed, holds his arms up, but no, doesn't touch. The vortex from Vulcan stopped Kellen from touching. Heads up play from Vulcan there.
And honestly, just a great play by Eternal. Punish Shockwave for stepping up, and then that forced New York Excelsior into a bad position, and Eternal just recognized the advantage. Playing very, very well. With 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, they're in the driver's seat right now on this attack. Kellen is just trying to get out, but with Fitz healing him for the backline, it should be pretty easy to disengage.
I don't want to be an overreacting Oliver.
I like overreacting. Continue.
But Eternal at 4 minutes going to second point. I'm just saying. It's looking good. It's looking good. First map win, maybe first series win, we'll see. Double anti-nade in the front line. Double Vulcan, bright purple to back off, but we know how hard this point can be to attack, especially when you have dive heroes. However, rack attack, quick headshot to Psycho, and now the annihilation can begin. Fitz in trouble. No nade, no sleep. Vulcan also in a heap of hurt, but being kept alive somehow, some way. And there you go, an easy push in. Get the payload going. Someone touch.
Why is it going backwards?
Keep the payload going. Oh, Vulcan's dead. Scratching his little head too.
Does he need to go that far aggressive? That's the question.
So.
I don't think he needed to get that pick onto Kellen. If he fell back to the cart, maybe if they touched early, they would have had an advantage here. Switching over to the Diva, Dragon comes out by Shockwave very early.
They're committing. They need to kill Psycho fast here. Force the recall. There's the Dragon Strike from Malthor. Could be big, though it does. It does damage to Psycho and helps Lucamino finish off the kill, and they get the second point. Almost 5 minutes for the Vegas Eternal now.
Yeah, that's just great place. Great play, and the New York Excelsior seem to be the team looking for answers right now. It feels like every time they try and take any positioning, they're getting punished. Just, as we said, individual brilliance from these players. Dove's getting his picks, Malthor's hitting shots, Rack Attack even getting in on the action. Eternal are doing it.
The prophecy is true.
Which prophecy? Who prophesied this?
I don't have answers for you. I just say stuff and then attach me to it later. That's kind of how casting works. Yeah, that's facts. Alright, Kellen on the high ground. Annihilate. Oh, Malthor takes a couple of storm arrows to the face. Should be a fairly easy cleanup here. If Eternal can punish with just a single kill, that would be kind of large. No, okay. Dove dead. And this will be it.
Oh, they got the Annihilation out.
Wow, you take that if you're the Eternal. Getting the Annihilation is quite large. Just reset now, though. Reset. Go again.
Kellen's had a couple of questionable ones on this Ramatra in the past as well. Like, even if Kellen was going to die there, that's fine. He has the closer respawns. They've already pretty much won the fight. I'm not sure if that was 100% necessary, but you can never say never. Malthor is switching over to the Sombra. We saw him have value on this on third point on their defense. Let's see if he can do it again on attack. It gives them that window and opening.
Speaking of windows, there's one on the high ground. Okay, this is good. Give Vulcan the high ground. He can then check the backline. He can check the DPS of the Excelsior and help set up help set up Dove and Malthor for these dives too. Pulse bomb in the hands of Dove. Who's the target? Creative in trouble. Suzu, swift step away.
The Kiriko is just so annoying to deal with, and I have honestly really liked this Dove Tracer. I think it's a better look than when Malthor was playing it.
Nice hack.
The Kitsune Rush does come out from the New York Excelsior. The
nice
disengage roll
by Dove. A returns rush here from Rack Attack. Now they're on Keller, but he hasn't got Nemesis form just yet, so this is an easy kind of stall out here for the Vegas Eternal. Shockwave's going to come back in just a moment. Has Dragon Strike, but Dove just harassing the backline, forcing recall, forcing abilities, just anything they can do right now to give them space and time to build up towards the CMP.
Yeah, EMP is coming up, but Kellen's almost getting another Annihilation as well. Charging these so quickly.
So quick. He's super low. There's Dragon Strike. Oh, Shockwave. There we go. Okay, Dove, Malthor dead. Reset. 2 minutes to go. Scott. Maybe we're a little bit overeager. But
no,
anything
I
can
would
happen.
never.
Nice headshot. Bada bing, bada boom.
Hello.
Oh. Nice. Okay, I mean, you probably could have sang it a little bit longer there, but...
Yeah. And this is really the big moment for the Vegas Eternal. They have that EMP. It is the big piece. There's no nano boost on the side of Fitz as well to save whoever gets EMP'd. They have the ultimates to close this out. Will they be able to is the question.
And there's no nano on the side of Excelsior either, so whoever gets EMP'd, it's going to be hard for them to actually get saved. Suzu, yes, but it's such a short invulnerability frame. EMP available. Shockwave, again, the focus. But it doesn't matter. Malthor, yeah, fell over. But, okay, Creative just somehow dies. Maybe that was the best play in the world. I'm not sure. Well, Shockwave not dead. There's still a lot of damage, and there's the nano. Annihilation coming out from Kellen. That Nemesis form doing a lot of work. Is this self-destruct big? No. Kellen just far too strong in the front line. Final fight for Eternal. They had a wealthy time bank coming into this point, and even on to second point. Can they make this stick?
Fitz saves Kellen with a sliver of health remaining, and Kellen gets the Annihilation off and turns that fight around. So on a knife's edge here for the Excelsior, but that was everything that they had. But now the Eternal Really, the only one who can open this up is Dove with the Pulse Bomb. He's been finding value so far on this map. Eternal need him to come up big, but getting his recall force this early is going to slow everything down.
Not great, yeah. Got to play a little bit safer now.
Tsune rush as well. Rack attack. Been
Look at this disrespect on Shockwave. My word. Nice little hack. There's the Dragon Strike. Pulse Bomb's good. Kellen goes low. Kitsune Rush in a Nemesis form to keep him alive, though, and now he can just swing with the fury of 1,000 suns with those fists. However, it will be Eternal just backing up. Once again, respecting that rush.
Yeah, but now they have nothing left in the tank. They use their own to get into that fight. Vulcan will have this touch at the last second.
No ult, Scott.
Yeah, Luke Mino getting up to this this amplification matrix, and Mouth will keep an eye on his ultimate charge throughout this fight.
Vulcan looking to eat. You see the little flick up there, checking Psycho. Pulse one comes out, goes wide. My word, that was close. Lucumino almost landed back into it, but Cannon's already dead. No front line now for the Excelsior. It's their final chance to finish this in OT as Shockwave picked off. Everybody's up for Eternal right now. This is their point to lose. Self-destruct, and they've done it. A completion of Junkertown. We're going to another round. 1 minute on each side.
And 1 minute remaining on Junkertown is a coin flip. We've all been there. You're really relying on whose Hanzo was going to hit shots. Maybe we could see both teams do what they did on this attack, where they're just trading damage with their tanks, enabling themselves to get up ultimates. The amplification matrix, the nano boost. But it could go either way. This series potentially a lot closer than people were expecting, and it's honestly the players of the Eternal stepping up. I said it a little bit, but Dove on this Tracer is a much better look, in my opinion, for the Vegas Eternal than when Mouthful is on it. Let Mouthful play his other flexible heroes. He can play the Hanzo, he can play the Sombra, he can play other things. Hey, if he ever gets the opportunity to go Genji, Mouthful, you do it. I know you love to go Genji. But Dove Tracer has been finding picks and finding value in ways that we haven't seen from Mouthful Tracer. So potentially a change-up. Oh, lost the nano on the Kellen.
Lost the nano.
Missed that.
Oh, that's so rough.
And that's like...
Nano has... Of course, Nano has a small travel time. And if you're that far away, it's a little bit more evident compared to when you're fairly close to your tank, too. So that brief window where that nano projectile is traveling out, while it can't get eaten by a diva, you know, it's still an ultimate that you can miss. That's rough. That would have been the difference maker, honestly. Keeping your tank alive there would have potentially won you that fight.
Oh my, please stop this.
Mino.
Luke Mino, you're giving me a heart attack.
Bro, don't test Shockwave. Don't test any Widowmaker. They're going to hit those shots.
Interestingly enough, change up from their first attack. Shockwave's going to remain on this Widowmaker, and this is a bold choice. You're kind of gambling that Shockwave is going to hit a shot, and with Luke Mino peeking all the time, it's probably a good idea.
Oh. I am about to have a heart attack.
Someone has to be tracking him that he's going close. He's going to get shots here. Someone has to deal with this.
They've got it. Nice grab. Oh! Headshot from Shockwave onto Mouthful. That'll do it. Not a Hanzo, but a Widowmaker will open this fight up. Snipers, king and queen on this map, especially first points. Lucamino using the lamp to cross.
Oh, they're in such a bad spot.
Excelsior come in. They are pushing the point, and Eternal need to touch. They need to do something here, reset or touch. It is up to them how they want to play this. They are kind of waiting. Looks like they want to try and stall. They have their supports alive, but no one is checking Shockwave right now, as overtime is in session, Scott.
Mouthful's back on the sun, but needs to put pressure onto Shockwave's Widow.
Oh, post bomb. Lucamino narrowly dodges that one. And with that window, too, it's actually forced Excelsior all the way back, and Shockwave is dead. They do trade DPS for DPS, but a big pick onto Mouthful means, well, the tank's a little bit more free to do damage without the fear of a hack. Self-destruct in the air. There's a cell. Oh, the nice pulse again from Dove. Please, the backline of Excelsior. Kellen's got the nano on the point, but has he got the damage? Has he got anything to really follow this one up? Vulcan pushes Psycho to his limits, and that will be the point stopping just before that first. And Psycho getting chased, he had no recall. Kellen was trying to bat the supports away, trying to get them stopping from the heels. Oh my god. Eternal have a very good opportunity right now to go match point in this series, make it a two-mapper. Oh my, this is a worrying state for Excelsior to be in, especially, like, look at who predded what on the desk. Everybody predded Excelsior, but the little scores, everybody thought this would be a 3-0. What is happening today?
Well, I don't even think you can blame what... our perception and the public perception was for this Eternal squad. They've never won a map before today. But Eternal, something has clicked. Maybe Avala was the secret sauce that we were talking about. That one piece that's going to come in and really give them that
Sky
awakening. And this Dove Tracer continues to come up clutch. Takes down one squad, one clips the other. It looks so good. And I want to shout out Mouthful as well. Great decision to switch over to the Sombra. Put that pressure. Traded his life for Shockwave's Widow. 100% worth it in that situation.
I mean, Shockwave, almost that entire time, Scott, was sitting on that back stairway uncontested.
Yeah.
So that trade, very much worth it. And with a minute to go, Eternal have victory on this map in their sights.
Whoa.
Sigma?
This is where you've decided that you're going to pull the Sigma. I wonder if this is an idea from Vulcan where Sigma is very strong on this first point, but the reason people don't play it is because it doesn't snowball into the rest of the map.
Right.
So maybe he's like, if we only need to get one fight, I can anchor on the point, I can play this shield, and if I get a Flux, that could just win us the map.
A lot of free damage on the D.Va too.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really want to be sat there matrixing the entire time, but with a nice cheeky arrow onto Rack Attack. Can they find any more? If they do, this is a big stagger.
Mouthful's low. You can see him was anti-nated, but Luke Mino is topping them up. Yeah, Excelsior, as much as they could have cleaned up more, the cost of them losing one of their own players would have been, disastrous. Good rock on Vulcan.
Look at Vulcan, struggling to try and check people right now. He needs to look 3 different ways to try and matrix damage and help the rest of his team and create space. 5 seconds to go. Wrap around from Shockwave. A little slide on the roof. But these arrows, they are not connecting. Only body shots right now. A nice lamp from Lucamino to keep Rack Attack alive. He was nated. Kellen is super low, but somehow being kept alive on the point. Creative's got the nano boost, applies it directly to Kellen. And now the backline of Eternal in trouble. The window's been placed, but Lucamino goes down. Kellen with the self-destruct, can't get back in the mech, and Psycho kills Rack Attack with a pulse. There's no supports, no hope. Eternal squad this one. Dove! Wait, no way Dove does this. A double pulse bomb, 1v5 potential. Kellen and
he was there. If
Kellen and Shockwave were so low.
If he gets the Ana, he gets the baby D.Va. That was winnable, but not enough, as the gamble of the Sigma for the Vegas Eternal, just not enough to get them over the line. But that was a close map. That could have gone either way.
Dove with a 1v5 opportunity at the very end. I mean, a little disheartened, I think, in the player cams right now. So from Excelsior too, right? I mean, you're expecting to come in this and kind of sweep them, but Eternal putting up a mean fight.
And as much as they look disappointed in the cameras, they're not despondent. They're not just out of light. You can tell how much this match means to them. Jake said it heading into this series. There's going to be very few matches, at least heading into this series, that they will be able to win in this West region.
This is one of them.
They want to take it.
This is one of them. Tono close. This map really could have gone either way. I mean, Dove's Tracer looking clean, and I agree with you, Scott. I think Dove sticking him on the Tracer, have Malthul play these other heroes. It's clearly Dove's best hero right now, and has been for a long time. Good stuff from Psycho all around, I will say. So it's really the battle of the DPS currently. It's going to be tough. We're going to Esperanza as our next map. Scott, what are we thinking we're seeing here?
We've seen the evolution change so much on this map. We've seen Ramatra, we've seen Winston. There's just so many different things it could be. And I don't think I've seen either of these teams play this map, at least not recently.
Well, we'll soon find out who takes it. Can Vegas Eternal take this series to a map number 5? Or will Excelsior shut them down here? You'll find out just after this.
Oh my.
I believe.
You believe?
I believe. I think it's possible.
Let me give you some bad news, Jack, as we go into this map.
All right, line it up.
Lep's back in the lineup. Fitz back on DPS.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
And what this usually spells is that the New York Excelsior are going to play the rush style. Vegas don't look good at that. If you're the Vegas Eternal going into this map, do you try and find something that allows Dove to play Tracer? Mouth will stay on the Hanzo. Like, you play that Diva style that we saw on Blizzard World, that we saw on Junkertown? Or do you try and just sort of stick to what the pseudo-meta is?
Oh, man.
That's the question.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't think I've got answers for you, to be very honest here. That's why I'm on this side of the mic and they're on theirs. That's for sure. I mean, I think sticking Dove on the Tracer obviously quite important at this point. It is a question, like, do you just kind of play your own style here, play your own thing? Because even Malfo's been showing up on the Hanzo. Really tough. But now we're left on the Lucio. Much easier to kind of run down a backline. Tough to play a slower comp, especially on this kind of map.
I will say, though, I don't love the Ramatra on this map.
Sure.
As Jake says, if you're a good team in the Overwatch League, you should be playing Winston. But I think for both of these teams, they should play what they're comfortable at. And for the New York Excelsior, with Lep coming back in, that screams to me that they want to play the Lucio. They might put him back on Brig, but if they were going to play Brig, you would assume that they would keep Creative in to play that Brig. So, for me, this means that they're going to want to play the Ramatra Rush. So if you're the Vegas Eternal, you stay away from that, as far away from that as you can. Because that hasn't been your best look or your win condition over these last couple of days.
What?
No, Jack, don't look at the heroes just yet.
No, I was looking at the robot. He's got his fist clenched. He's ready to fight. He's ready to kill. I wonder when the bot is going to get his own character. Maybe he has a boxing match against Bob or something. That'd be kind of cool.
I think
that's lore accurate. I think that's real.
Oh,
wow,
this is interesting.
Oh, okay. Fitz running on the Ash. Mouthful on Torb. Yes, okay.
Say less.
Say less, King. I'm ready for it. I'm honestly here for it. Check Psycho in the backline. Lep checks left. Also, there was an update to Torb recently where if you shoot somebody, the turret then auto-focuses them, which is quite nice. So if you are like trying to focus down somebody, you land a shot, the turret will auto-lock onto them rather than just like almost whoever it wants.
If you're the Vegas Eternal, you need to find a way to get onto this Ash of Fitz because it's going to pump out so much damage if you leave it unchecked. What's going to happen is Kellen's going to anchor on this point while Fitz is just raining sniper shots from far away. You can see Malfoy, even at this distance, is unable to just peek.
Oh my god, he pops E, he pops the overload, and Lucamino Suzu'd him.
Yeah, you got to play slow at this point then. But look at 40% charge and counting right now for the Ash.
A lot of damage right now, a lot of damage.
And that's what I'm saying. No one on the Eternal can match this damage. So at some point you have to go. The shot does come out from Vulcan, but anti-nade.
Malthor's 1 HP still. There we go. Good anti-nade, yeah. Lucamino needs to save these Suzus for this anti-nade. Another one. Oh, and Vulcan just goes down to it. Alrighty. Turn to Lemonade there. Unfortunate stuff. It's tough too. Nade has a slightly faster cooldown than Suzu does, so there is a point where you can just throw Nade, you hear the Suzu, you just throw Nade like as soon as you get it again because you know they don't have another Suzu. Okay, Malthor, he's on Genji. Kind of sucks not seeing Tor, but Genji, you said it in Junkertown. You don't mind it?
I regret what I said on Junkertown.
Okay.
It could be solid versus the Ash. The problem is he doesn't have a follow-up from a tank. So now they have two different identities. Vulcan's going to win the frontline fight, but Dove and Malfoy have got to go for the backline.
Rush. Oh, Nano for Kellen, pretty easy. Pulse bomb available for Dove. Oh, he's kind of lost. All good, though. GPS signal recovered. Kellen ends up backing out. Too much damage. Even with that Nano booster, into a rush still could hurt, especially if Vulcan's kind of wailing on it. Dove with a pulse, looking at Kellen, no. Annihilation though, I was going to say he has no Nemesis form, but the Annihilation does refresh it, and that Bob is just airing Eternal out right now. And Creative taking himself a nice little double kill. No need for the other support there, just I'll take the kills with it.
And you can see the problem that I highlighted, right? Dove Mouthful isn't strong enough to take down the back line. Vulcan can't stand up at the front line.
There's checkpoint.
So there goes the checkpoint. Obviously, they did have to switch, so they didn't have as many ultimates as the Excelsior, but that is a very quick checkpoint here for them. And Fitz is just playing an aim trainer at this point, it feels like.
Right. Vulcan maybe going on a Winston, obviously would help with the dive there, but you already kind of covered that point in the preamble.
Oh wow.
Wow, that was a nice little burst there from left. Didn't quite kill, but all good. Still what I'm saying, gets himself a beat.
So how do you get into this fight if you're the Eternal? Like,
Suzu used.
Yeah, Suzu's used, so that's going to cause a slowdown anyway.
There's the punches.
But Creative and Fitz, you can just see them perch on this high ground.
Psycho?
Psycho. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah. Didn't expect maybe another punch to land from Vulcan, but it certainly did. Gave him a black eye.
Yeah.
Imagine getting hit by that real life. Like, whoop.
I can take it.
I think Scott, I can take it. Nice nade, actually saved Fitz's life. He's 1 HP. He misses sleep though from Creative. Very uncharacteristic. However, with Vulcan taking down Fitz, him holding his arms too, now he has to stand up to Kellen, but it's not enough. A good Sune rush from Lucamino, but
Late in
the
the
dominoes are just falling down.
Yeah, Lucamino used that very late, thinking that it could turn the tides of this fight. But unfortunately, it could not. Vulcan did a good job of opening that up, playing aggressive with that Ramatra, with the Annihilation, but Excelsior just had too many ultimates to sustain through it. As now we take the exact same fight that we had last time, where you're going to have Fitz and Creative sitting on this high ground. Mouthful Blade is what they're going to look for to try and sort of find value. Use the sound barrier so they don't have that answer.
Yeah, Blade and Bomb. Blade and Bomb. Dub. Looking, well, Lep is around the corner. Looking for it. He's checking it. They know he's there. Bob comes out. All right, there's a kill onto Mouthful. No Blade. No pulse used by Dub, who's 1 HP. Has to recall. And this is just Eternal just taking this fight way too slowly, Scott.
Yeah, and that's sort of it. Dub's looking for a window to enter. By the time he feels like he has any time to go, Mouthful's already dead. So they can't do either of those things. Excelsior keeps getting meterage up on the board. It's getting to 80 meters. Just in APAC recently, last night, Jack.
Yes.
We had a record broken on Esperanza. Finished with 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Which, you know, that's actually, 6.5 minutes in a round is quite quick for Esperanza. Let's see if
I didn't stop. Maybe once.
Yeah.
All right, Dub with a pulse bomb. Mid-air. Oh, what a stick. Dub again with a double pulse bomb. Creative and Fitz. Sent back to spawn. Mouthful pulled the blade, but damage was there already. Dub will take that one. And Mouthful's like, yeah, I got no with that blade. Yeah,
you killed my targets, man.
Yeah, nice stuff. Deflect the dynamite? No, he just dashes away from it.
Yeah, so Eternal starting to be the aggressors now, but you can see Excelsior, they don't want to go through this low grounds. They're going to take the stairs because they want to take this fight to the Eternal. But with the nano boost, you can see Lucamino looking for it, but Dub gets taken out by Fitz in the backline.
Annihilation, he's got to find targets. That time is ticking down. Oh, the kite is so good from Excelsior. And they take care of Lucamino too, so Vulcan just had rings run around him like, oh man, that is so rough. Vegas Eternal not only lose nano, they lose beat. Annihilation.
They have rough
next fight this will be. I mean, post bomb, Kellen has his Annihilation. That was just disastrous, Scott.
Dove is going to switch over to this Ashe to just sort of match Fitz so they can both have that high level of pressure. But that's difficult to find value when you enter in this mirror and you're already 80 meters down in the round.
No connection there, but, I mean, Annihilation from Kellen's good. No fear in this man's eyes right now. Anti-naded, almost sub 100 HP, and he's still swinging. Excelsior are just going to continue this push. I mean, Fitz dying here, rack attack, well, Fitz dying doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things unless Dub.
Oh my lord!
This guy wants to win. Oh my god! I'm like, well, Fitz dead, doesn't matter. Oh wait, Dub's still here. Clicking on heads.
Dove is just going absolutely crazy. As you said, he doesn't want to lose this series.
Ooh.
He took out Creative before this as well. And then...
What was that?
Oh my!
Dirty 180.
4K in that
down
team fight. He's got 6 of the team's 9 final blows right now. When you add in that double pulse bomb as well. Flank bob by Fitz.
Dove
Questionable.
goes down. Dove goes down. Here we go. I mean, Dove takes a kill. He's not dead just yet. Sorry, Dove. Look at this guy's flanks, too. There's the Bob. Sleep Dart already used. You saw it flung towards Dove, but he managed to dodge it somehow. Bod's being stolen, mind you. Support line in Excelsior, currently in Narnia. But they do eventually join the rest of the team. Dove's going to get just at him. He's carrying already. Oh, what a sleep from Creative, though. Sleeping on the job, and now, okay, everything invested, even in Nano and Kellen to take him out. You know the key target is Dove right now. The guy is just popping off. But the problem is, with Eternal losing that source of damage, and with a minute to go, I mean, Scott, they need 90+ meters, man. Like,
this Mouthful Genji is just not paying off right now. He's just unable to move around the map, unable to find a single blow so far. He has a blade once again. Let's hope Dove doesn't steal all the kills when he decides to pull it, but it's on the Sojourn.
Dove, my king.
He's just... this is a Seeker from Valiant performance.
It really is. Oh, another nice headshot. Who's turning it on right now? Everybody supporting Eternal right now is supporting Dove. Specifically, he's just carrying the team. He needs this victory. They want another one on the board. They need him at 5. He's closing in on a Bob, 50% away, but a couple of dynamites will do it. Fitz actually on the Sojourn. Now there's the blade from Malthor. It's his time to shine, but a very nice beat coming through from Excelsior. That's a good ult to force Scott. Vulcan now has that annihilation, and Dove finds another kill.
That's huge. Hit for the Eternal. We're only at 48 seconds, but pushing overtime is a dangerous game. All of a sudden, where you would need to win 3 or 4 team fights, you only need to win 2 or 3. So York Excelsior need to play this smart. Don't need to overcommit all of their ultimates. Kellen does have this annihilation, but Vulcan can return, and Rack Attack still having that sound barrier while Lep had to use it against the Mouthful Blade.
Alright, Vulcan got annihilation. It's going to be a hard checkpoint to fight over. 20 seconds to go as the bot is stolen. The bot is stolen. The bot is stolen. Oh my grand theft bot! I don't need the bot back. And Dove's dead. The main source of damage, the main source of kills already gone. With 10 seconds to go, Vulcan is an F1 car trying to run towards that bot right now. Double support ultimate used on Vulcan to try and push towards that point. There's a few seconds left. Eternal need to wait for Dove to come back. Vulcan hasn't got an ultimate left. Excelsior, they can play this one calm, cool and collected. Not so calm anymore. Kellen, very mad, wants to end this series. Overtime now in session, Scott.
Yeah, they just got caught.
Malthor, Rack Attack dead. Psycho with a pulse. That'll surely be it. I'm not sure Dove and that Bob can make this work. No, it cannot. Excelsior with the win. A 3-1 to end it all. Oh, Dove, man. He wanted that one bad.
They just needed to keep control of the bot, because then they could take the fight on their own terms. But as soon as New York Excelsior took it, you saw they scrambled. They didn't know how to take that fight. So even though Kellen could find value, the rest of his team is just getting taken out. And New York Excelsior may be closer than they would have wanted, but do manage to hold on in this series.
Oh man, yeah, that bot steal was the beat and the nano used on Kellen to try and get back. He may have an F1 car, but, you know, ended up crashing on the first corner, unfortunately.
I do want to say, though, this was the first signs of life that we've seen from the Vegas Eternal in terms of making it a competitive series. I think they did a great job of just playing their style and forcing Excelsior into corners that they wouldn't want to be. Obviously, it's going to be hard against top-end teams. That's where they've really been outmatched. But at least against somewhat of a weaker team of the New York Excelsior, they fought it somewhat close.
I mean, you're still pretty happy if you're Vegas, but the winners today are going to be the New York Excelsior, sitting at 2 and 3 currently, Scott. So,
not bad.
Middle of the standings. We'll see if they can find a couple more dubs to maybe scoot themselves up a little bit. And we've seen a lot more different shades of the team too. We've seen Fitz on the support role, but the support that stood out to everybody this match was Creative. He actually went kind of crazy on this first map, Scott. A lot of final blows and a lot of clutch nades too, and keeping Dub in check when he was on that Tracer.
Yeah, he honestly played a little bit of everything in this match. He was just everywhere all at once. His nanos coming in so clutch onto Kellen and just sort of keeping his backline alive. You know, even though Dove had an incredible game, he was getting good sticks, he just did this time and time again. And Creative, a huge signing coming out in the offseason. As much as, you know, he isn't considered one of the top ends, it was surprising that no one else was willing to pick him up. New York Excelsior got away with a steal on this one.
Yeah, good pickup.
Real good pickup. Low deaths, like high enemy slept, 4.4 per 10. That's
not bad.
Quite a lot of sleeps, yeah. But Grenadier kills looking good too. Good stuff from Creative and good stuff from New York all around. I mean, again, Vegas Eternal, they do manage to clinch their first map win of the 2023 season. But with this win, I mean, where do you go from here with Excelsior? It feels like they can play so many things, especially if Fitz is more than willing to jump over to the support role. We'll see where it takes them.
Yeah, and that's really the question that everyone still has in mind. We're so early in the season. Yeah. Yes, they're 2-3, but if I'm using my memory correctly, they beat the Vegas Eternal and they've beaten the Los Angeles Valiant. So I want to see them get wins over better teams. How are they going to fare against a team like the Washington Justice, the London Spitfire, and all those types of teams? Because they're the teams that they're sort of vying to take their spots.
Oh, yes. We're going to jump to a quick break, though. The desk is going to break this one down in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We've still got another banger coming up after this.
gorgeous, beautiful, just like Jake. And you guys could also be beautiful like Jake and Lifeweaver. Rep your favorite teams, Lifeweaver, Lucio, Brig, and a weapon charm for 350 League tokens on sale until June 13th. 13th. I just had a
13th?
big fob moment right there. June 13th. All right, there you go. Get your
Why are
get
you
your
so
skins.
dreamy, Danny.
What? No, you're dreamy. I see.
Oh.
You could be. You're more beautiful than Lifeweaver.
Wow.
That's facts.
Wow. I don't know if I can accept that. I mean, Lifeweaver, he might not be the strongest hero, but I think he is beautiful. It's undoubtable.
True.
Undoubtable. Especially the tree. I quite like the tree.
You know what's another beautiful thing is?
What?
It has to be New York Excelsior beating Vegas Eternal today. They got the dub 3-1 against Eternal, and I gotta say, things didn't really work out that well for, I guess, the first half of New York Excelsior, but they definitely towards the second half they started to really show up.
Well, I mean, they opened so strong on the Koth. I thought this would be kind of an open and shut case, but on Blizzard World they looked a little bit more lost. I think honestly there were some hiccups with Fitz on the support. I do think he played overall well, but just made some errors that you would maybe expect, frankly, of a player without as much experience on the role. I think Custom mentioned is dying to the Diva Bomb, probably got his shield broken. So just individually, mechanically, he looked really strong on support, but was making errors it just seemed to be due to inexperience. However, I don't totally hate the idea. I think there are a lot of DPS players that have transitioned to support successfully. Taru being one on the Washington Justice who's looked solid. So I think given some time, this could be a good look, especially with these double flex support comps coming into the meta. I don't mind it from New York. I do think this should have been a cleaner game, and honestly, props to Vegas for making it so close.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas had some great looks. Dove at the end. I mean, Jonathan Custer was talking about. He did not want to lose, and he looked great. But I mean, do you think we're gonna see more of New York playing Fitz on that support role?
I do think so. I mean, from what we saw, I think there was hope, and then the issues to me weren't incompetence on Fitz, he's just not good enough on the role. It was really just he doesn't have the experience to be aware of these potential pitfalls. But I think you are right. There were some moments, but I'm a little bit worried for Vegas. I think their comps were falling apart on this last map. Frankly, I was really criticizing them in the green room because I mean, at a moment there, they were playing Tracer, Genji, Lucio, Kiriko. I mean, makes sense kind of, and then Ramatra. It's just these things don't fit together. Either you're going to dive on the backline or you're not. And Ramatra just doesn't really do that in that comp, especially now with all the high grounds. I just feel like they're out of sync. They didn't know what they wanted to switch to. Individual players were I've got to change up, but they weren't ending on a comp that actually fits together. And I think that is worrisome for Vegas. Even though they had bright spots in the match where they looked strong, playing kind of comfort heroes. I think Luke Mino on the BAP, that's his best hero, I would say. And so when he was able to leverage that, they looked strong. But they just kind of fell apart there in the home stretch. Even with Dove putting on I totally agree, a crazy performance, it just wasn't enough. I think their overall comps were too weird and they were too far behind at that point.
But hey, they did get their first win, so good job, Vegas Eternal.
First map win.
First map win. Hey, yeah, I mean it's better than zero.
I appreciate your positivity.
Better than zero. They got their first map win.
It is better than
more
zero
to come,
win.
right? Yeah, it's better. But hey, it was the New York Excelsior getting the win. So now we have an interview ready with the one and only tank player Kellen from the New York Excelsior.
Please tell us more, Danny.
Yes, I will. Just do that. Just give me a second. I'm coming. Right here. Hi, Kellen. Can you hear me? 들리세요?
네, 들립니다.
Alright, he could hear me. So, I want to start off this interview, Kellen, by asking you about Blizzard World, because that was the map that you guys did drop. So, what sort of went wrong for the New York Excelsior, and how were you guys what sort of adjustments did you guys make after losing Blizzard World? 일단 오늘 승리 축하드리면서 첫 번째 질문으로는 이제 켈렌 선수한테 블리자드 월드에 대해서 좀 여쭤보고 싶어요. 아무래도 그 맵을 아쉽게 졌기 때문에 거기서 좀 뉴욕 팀에서는 좀 어떤 문제점이 있었고 또 이제 그 맵을 지고 난 후에 좀 어떤 변환점이 있었나요? 좀 어떻게 좀 경기를 풀어 나가셨나요?
C9 문제점도 있었고 일단 저희가 다이브를 가야 되는데 계속 셋업이 안 돼서 다이브를 못 가는 약간 그런 고율적으로도 안 맞는 게 많아서 좀 더 안 풀렸던 것 같아요.
I mean, I think definitely the C9 was definitely a problem. And not only that, we were supposed to look at the dives more carefully, but we really couldn't. And I think that really falls on, I guess, communications and making good call-outs. We were sort of lacking that. I think those were the mistakes that we made. And because of that, we lost Blizzard World. So we focused on fixing that problem heading into the next map. Not only that, today's match, we also saw something interesting. We saw Fitz flexing onto the support role. So how did that decision happen? 일단 다음 질문으로는 또 켈렌 선수 오늘 피치 선수가 원래 딜러로서 항상 플레이를 하시다가 오늘 좀 특이하게 힐러 쪽으로 넘어온 경우에 오늘 좀 경기를 하셨는데 어떻게 해서 그런 결정을 하시게 되셨나요?
투서피를 써야 됐었는데 또 이제 딜러 출신들이 서브힐러를 잘해가지고 한번 시켜봤는데 스크림에서 결과가 좀 더 좋았던 것 같아서 쓴 것 같아요.
I mean, we definitely wanted to roll with the 2 flex supports. That was what we needed for this match. And usually DPS damage dealers are pretty good on those flex supports. And you know, we put him in scrims before, and he did pretty well. So we went with it, and I think it worked out pretty well. All right, Kelly, that's it for the interview. Thank you so much, and again, big congratulations on the win. 감사합니다. All right.
Great to hear from Kellen there. And that's what I expected with the Fitz coming in, right?
Yeah.
Like teams, you know, I think a lot of people look at that and they're like, what is this? Is this just like a crazy switch up? Like, are they doing something like out of hand? It's like almost never, pretty much exclusively when you're going to see a role swap like that, it's going to be something that teams have tried and practiced. And I think at this point, especially in Overwatch 2, it's becoming more and more popular. A lot of teams are using, to be honest, especially DPS players to flex into other roles. You know, last year, Dante switched to tank.
Yeah.
We've seen Mirror on tank this season. We've seen a lot of players switching to support. There's a lot of, like, mechanically very strong DPS players that just need to, like, sort of learn the ins and outs of the other roles to be able to execute them well. And I think, I still think Fitz, he can get there. I think there were, like, a couple, like, rookie mistakes from his inexperience on support that are easily corrected, and he has the mechanics to make the big plays that they're kind of hoping for.
I think just given time with, you know, if they are going to field Fitz on that support, I think he definitely will get better. And yeah, the C9 problems, just a little bit less, I think New York should be better.
Yeah, even without the translation, it's like C9, yeah, we saw it too.
They know.
They know, yeah. There was a couple rough ones on Blood World. I would give that to him. A couple fights that were pretty winnable that they end up just getting off the point, or, you know, like Kellen takes that nano boost on Blizzard World defense, and he should dive, you know, like that's his role right there. Taking the nano, you have to like make a kill, make something happen, and the communication just wasn't there for Tracer or Brig for someone to walk on point for a second. So it is a little bit sad to see them drop a map to Vegas, where I think they were a much stronger team.
Just minor little mistakes here and there, but I'm sure New York could fix that very quickly.